And again, welcome, Dr. Campbell. It's good to see you here. I think you and I share the understanding of how critical it is to build bridges between our Indo-Pacific allies, how critical it is for us to unify our national strengths, how critical it is for us to work together to advance our common economic and national security interest in the region. One area I wanted to speak with you about today is regarding energy cooperation between the United States, Korea, and Japan. I'd particularly like you to articulate your vision to advance energy cooperation and energy security among the three nations, and also specifically your thoughts on nuclear and LNG.
Yeah, thank you very much, Senator. And if I could just take a moment to thank you for your leadership on Indo-Pacific issues, but also for your support for Japan. It is a country that is dear to both of us. It is a critical partner. We cannot be successful in the Indo-Pacific unless we work closely with them. They are your first, when they come to the United States, your office is their first stop. I'm happy to see them after. So thank you for what you've done. Let me just say that my own personal view, and I think the view increasingly in the administration, is that given our urgent and immediate challenges, we need to double down on transitional fuels. And I know some people do not like to use that concept with respect to natural gas. We ultimately want to go to renewables, but in this critical period, taking advantage of vast stores of American energy and others, places more aligned with the United States, working with Japan and South Korea to ensure that those energy supplies are safe and secure. I will note, and Senator, I know that you know this and you encourage this as well, when the energy crisis got most difficult in Ukraine last year, it was Japan and South Korea that agreed to do complex swaps so that they provided that urgent and badly needed energy to Ukraine. We need to support Japan and South Korea more here. We also need to work with them on innovative nuclear projects. I think you know that there are some interesting projects that we're now working on. Our friend Dan Poneman has pioneered work on small nuclear reactors, much safer. Japan has basically developed some innovative technologies. There are some business challenges, some companies and struggles with ultimate issues associated with government backing. Ultimately, we highlighted this in our engagements with both individually with South Korea and Japan. As the trilateral partnership builds momentum, this is going to be at the center of what we intend to do.
Just a quick point. I've noted the discussion of the Trilateral National Laboratories Cooperation. This is a parochial question because Oak Ridge National Labs is in my home state. But do you have a thought of how our laboratories will be cooperating?
Yeah. In fact, I think you know this. The person that has championed this the most is Ambassador Emanuel, who's served us with distinction. He wants that lab to play a key role. I do too.
Great. That's great. If I could turn again just to an area where I want to congratulate you, and that's on the role that you played in the Camp David Summit, bringing together the leaders of South Korea, Japan, and the United States. I think that was an important step. I was pleased to engage in a complementary trilateral conference in San Francisco on the margins of APAC. You and I discussed that we had some 40 CEOs, national security leaders and government leaders that attended that. And I see great promise and great potential there. One thing that I'm curious about, though, is that China is now trying to establish its own trilateral conference with leaders in South Korea and Japan. I'd be curious in your perspective what China's goals here might be.
Yeah, thank you. And in fact, Senator, I'm sure you know this, but their trilateral far precedes ours. The trilateral that went on between China, Japan, and South Korea was very active in the 2000s. China had withheld certain engagements from both South Korea or Japan, and so that has sort of fallen a little bit by the wayside. But the Chinese have noted the actions that we've taken. I would say among all the things that we have done, they look at our engagement with Vietnam, working more on the security side, what we've done with India. These concern them. The thing that I think they recognize has the potential, the most significance in changing the security architecture of Asia is if Japan and South Korea can finally and fundamentally put their animosity behind them to focus on the future in everything: energy, technology, security, people-to-people education. This is our goal. I do want to thank you for what you're doing. I do want to also just say it is in our interest to commend more publicly the risks and the courage that have been shown by Japan and South Korea. They need to recognize that we fully support at every possible level what they've done, and we seek to strengthen it as it goes forward.
Excellent.
And I'm confident that China will be unsuccessful in building the kind of bonds of trust that we are doing now with Japan and South Korea.
Indeed. I appreciate that confidence. I look forward to supporting your nomination.
Thank you very much, Senator.